Hey, so I just finished reading the Dissident Review Volume 1. This is a history book, technically speaking. Although it jumps around, it doesn't stick with one topic. It is a collection of essays and one primary source about different historical topics. Basically meant to inspire political action or political change. So, as they say in the book, in the foreword, which for some reason the foreword is in the middle of the book, along with the copyright information and the table of contents, that's all in the middle of the book. Maybe that's just my copy, maybe that was an actual publishing error, but it's in the middle of the book for me, anyway. Usually that's at the very front of the book. But as they say in the foreword, history has been altered so as to deny the truth, to obscure the truth, rather. And really, when you read this book, you'll see that they are speaking the truth, but they are also trying to inspire people. And that's really the point of the book, is to inspire people. History should be inspiring. You should be inspired by history. Now, there are 7 essays, and there's one, well, 2 technically, but they're both from the same article. Perspectives on Japanese War, taken from 1932 and 1933. Those are primary sources. But the other essays are not primary sources. One thing that is surprising is that they give, for every essay that they write, they give a fairly sizable big bibliography, a great deal of recommended reading to back up their claims. Now, the 2 essays that I found most interesting were the first and the 6th. The first essay is about the myth of the Middle Ages. This is about how Christians were not backwards, anti-science, all that, and Muslims were. Even though we are taught that Muslims were pro-science and Christians were anti-science during the Middle Ages. He gives a lot of evidence for this, and it's very convincing, and it's very inspiring. The 6th essay is about occultism and statecraft, specifically occultism and the British Empire. And that was interesting because it covers the influence of occultists such as John Dee on the Elizabethan period and Aleister Crowley on the 1900s British Empire. And it also relates it to other things that states just do, such as propaganda and espionage, and it makes mention of COVID-19. It also makes mention of Jeffrey Epstein, and these are, and it also talks about this thing called the Hellfire Club. The Hellfire Club is not just a club, a D&D club in Stranger Things. The Hellfire Club was a club that blackmailed politicians into doing what it wanted them to do, which is what Jeffrey Epstein is alleged to have done. Now, there is one thing to note. Each essay is written by a different person, and so there are some contradictions. For example, in the first essay goes through all this effort to explain that what we are taught about the Middle Ages is backwards from the truth. And I believe it was in the 3rd essay, although it may have just been in the 2nd essay. They reference the standard narrative of Islam being pro-science and Christianity being anti-science during the Middle Ages. So there is a little bit of a contradiction there. If you can think critically when you read, that won't be a problem. There are 4 volumes of this in total. I only have the first one. There's volume 2, volume 3, and volume 4. They don't have a volume 5 yet, as of the recording of this video. But yeah, it was a very interesting book. And another thing that I want to point out is that the later volumes, they appear to be more themed. This one was just kind of all over the place, but the later volumes appear to have like specific themes that they stick with. So if you're reading those ones, like it's a single topic, like volume 3 is great men. So the great men of history, the great men who create history and push history forward. So that would be one topic that they stick with for that volume. But this volume, they did not have a single topic. They were all over the place. That's about all. Thank you for watching. Peace.